5.
Everybody give me applause. I did it right this week. Okay, so Doug, did you just want to answer questions this week, or did you want to go over a couple things first?
I think we'll start with answering questions, and we'll see what happens from there.
All right, everybody knows *8, and that'll put your hand up so I can unmute one person at a time to ask questions. Okay, we have one here.
Okay.
Oh, it's showing it's Connecticut. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Bernice. I know a little bit about accepted for value. I've never done it, and I understood that this was going to be a call that teaches us how to do that.
Yes, or answer questions concerning it, yes.
Oh, right. Well, I'm looking forward to the explanation of what to do.
Okay, on debts, which are basically anything that you've been given credit for, like credit cards, mortgages, car loans, collection letters, bills from hospitals, student loans. These are all kinds of debts because somebody's given you type of credit. And I consider those utilities as well because they're kind of a quasi-government creation. And whenever the government demands you pay something, they have to have a method for you to pay. So the accepted for value works on those things as well as court documents. And what you basically do is you write on the statement, accepted for value, exempt from levy. Then you sign your name and date it. Put your exemption ID number, which is your Social Security number, without dashes. Deposit to the Treasury and charge to your all-capital name and your Social Security number with dashes. If you have a voucher, if it's an IRS-related voucher, you can just put on there money order, and that's all you need to do. You can put accepted a warehouse receipt is payment in full at the bottom or something of that nature, but it's not necessary. But marking that little voucher that they send into you is important to say this is a money order or money order, and then you endorse the back of it. If it's a non-IRS related issue, such as a hospital bill or something of that nature, then I'll take their voucher or their payment coupon or their stub or whatever you want to call it and put on their money order, pay to the United States Treasury, then you spell out the amount of money, and then you write in numerals the amount of money, just like you would on a check, by, colon, sign your name, authorized representative, Social Security number without dashes, and then endorse the back of that. If there is no voucher, then you find a page that has the amount of money that they're requesting. And then you take that and then do the accepted for value, turn it into a money order. You just treat the whole thing as if it's a voucher, and then you endorse the back. Did I make that clear?
Yeah, I wrote really fast. I don't know if I quite got it all. Is there any pictorial of this? Because I did this once. I did this with IRS, and I didn't quite know how to enforce it because I got back letters saying, that if I file any more frivolous papers, that I'll be fined $5,000 each time. And I quite didn't know or have any guidance on what to do, so I didn't do anything, further with that.
Okay. Your first part of your question was what?
If there's any kind of pictorial, because I remember...
Pictorial. Yeah, you can get a copy of this from hdrbonds.com. They send them out free. There's no obligations. They don't put any advertisements in there. You just log onto the website under the Contact Us tab, and there's...
I did it through them. That's who I did it with a number of years back, and I just...
Okay, well, then you might need an updated sample. I don't know if it's changed over the years, but you could ask for an updated sample. And do you remember where you sent that accepted for value?
I think I sent it to the... I did a bond also. I did both, and I sent it the U.S. Treasury. I forgot the name of the guy that was in office, and if I heard it, I'd recognize it.
Also?
I sent it to them.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't send them to the Treasury Department, and I don't send them back to the office from which they originate. I send them to either the Ogden address, the Covington address, or the address in D.C. Those are the only three that I'm aware of currently that know how to handle accepted for values. If you get a frivolous letter, then it's probably because you got somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with them and thought that it was frivolous. Not that it was. Not that you did anything wrong. You just sent it to the wrong guy.
Right.
Pardon?
Yeah, I understand that. I actually had conversations with them to advise them to research what to do with this. But it didn't do me any...
Yeah, they're not really good about stuff like that unless they already know what to do with them. But if you send them to one of the three addresses, they pretty much know what to do with them. Occasionally you might get somebody who doesn't, like they hire somebody new or something and they haven't been told the secrets that they're supposed to take with to their grave. So it's just a matter of going to the right place. And that's why I often tell people, if one place doesn't work and you know you did it right, send it to the other address. When the next month comes along, you get a new one, send it to the other address. That way you're not dealing with the same bozo because you don't know if they hired somebody new and they said, okay, you take all the people who have come in the last week or maybe whose last names start with, T or something, and then they take all these things and they come across and accept it for value and say, I don't know what to do with this. It must be frivolous. go over and do their job, or what they think is their job, and send you out a frivolous letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With what I did a couple of years back, I can't take that and send a copy again. There's two things here with my situation. One, I settled on a significant amount of the tax balance because it's a long story. I settled on most of it. I still have, I don't know, maybe $10,000 left. So is there anything I can do to recover my settlement funds, or that's gone?
I honestly don't know. I have heard some people, when they've done this process correctly, they have received money that has been taken from them, that has been garnished, or something along those lines, and sometimes they just get left alone. A few people get an occasional letter that says thank you, but I wouldn't expect that from them. So it's really hard to say whether or not you're going to get your money back. But the most important thing is to stop them bleeding you dry now. And
right.
Yeah, you can use an old one. You can use an old copy of one.
You're talking about
Yep.
an old copy of what?
A copy of your previous tax bill. You said you had one?
Yeah, well, I have the part that I settled on. I'm sure I have old copies of it.
Yeah, just take those old copies and do an accepted for value on it and send it to them.
Okay, because I had also done a bond, and that's what I got the frivolous letters from.
Yeah. The bond should have gone through, and I don't know what you do to enforce that either. I don't even know what you would do to enforce the accepted for value. It's just that I wanted to find a way that I didn't have to enforce something, that they would know what to do, and so far they've been pretty good. I think I've only gotten one bill that has come back to me, and that may be because I waited too long and it missed the cycle for them closing out the account or something. But I just took that and accepted for value and put it in an envelope and sent it to them, and haven't heard back from them since.
Wow, that's great. And you've done it with the utilities also?
I don't have any utilities where I am right now. It's all kind of inclusive in the rent, but I don't see why it wouldn't, because it is a government requirement. If it's a government requirement, then it's a tax.
Okay, so if I look on the HJR bonds, because it's been a long time since I did this, I'll be able to see examples, because I remember I had to do it in red ink, and it had to be across it from left side up to the right side. Is that what you're talking about also? That would apply?
Yeah. Basically, that sounds like it, at a 45-degree angle. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I did it a number of years back, so I'll refresh myself on that. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Free-man creditor, you're next.
Hi, Doug. I've got a couple quick questions. One is you say on the A for V to sign it and date it, but isn't the A for V stamp have a date on it already?
No, well, not necessarily. Well, some people use their birth date. I've heard that's going around out there, and I don't use that, or they use some other date that they have that means something to them, and I don't see a problem with using that. From the sounds of it, it worked okay. But no, mine are done on the computer, because usually I do a lot of them.
Do you put on the stamp? Do you put the date on the stamp, or do you actually write the date in blue?
Well, I've done it both ways.
Okay.
Usually if I do the date, I'll put it in red with everything else. But there have been times when I've gotten busy and didn't switch pens and put it in blue, and I don't think the date matters one way or the other. In fact, I recently heard somebody say that they do their accepted for value all in red, and they haven't had any problems. Sign it and everything. And I've sent a couple as experiments all in blue, and they took those.
Okay. All right. Now, I saw your information on Remedy by Method on the site, and you show where you have the money order and the signature there, but you do not have a date with the signature. You say use it like a check, but there is no date on the money order part. Is that something that is any critical information, or does it not matter?
Must not matter. I guess I forget to put that on there. I figure if there's one date on there already that I sign, that's close enough. I don't know that's for sure. I may have just been lucky so far. I think it's a good idea to put a date on there. Sign it, then put a date behind that.
On the money order?
Yeah, but I don't think that is, but apparently it's not absolutely necessary.
Okay. And then just on the back of the money order, just the signature is required, nothing paid to the order of or anything like that, just a straight signature is all that matters?
Yeah, that's how I do it. I know I have seen, and I think even HJR Bonds has a sample with something written on the back of it, paid to the order of the IRS or something, which is fine. And if you are sending it to a utility or something, you can change the IRS name out to the name of the company or utility. I prefer just to sign it, make it easy on myself, because then since I do everything through the computer, or the vast majority of it, I have to change my type, and I don't always do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
North Indiana, you're up next.
Doug?
Yes?
I was on last night's call when you were talking, and I didn't get your last name. Is it possible I could have that?
Yeah, Douglas Riddle, Riddle. You're not a government agent, are you?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
No. I'm just a guy that's into mortgage problems and credit cards from business that I have no more. I've been in business since I graduated high school, and I'm just trying to look for a way out. But if I go to HJR Bonds, then this website here will be all pretty much self-explanatory.
For